don't have to push anything on you. Let me just share with you what God's done in my life, because I'm completely transformed. I'm not the same. Do you want to know how I know God's real? I'll tell you how. Moments like this. When we went to their Capture live stream games, first night, they told me I was doing Bible study the next morning. All of you guys went to Disney Springs. FOMO on an ultimate high, but honestly can't complain. You didn't go. You went to sushi downstairs. That's right.
Sushi.
I honestly can't complain though, because I was having a great time in the room. Dad got this amazing room that had this big balcony, right? I ordered room service on my dad's credit card, and I was like living my best life.
That's awesome.
I was writing my little message, praying, asking God, like, okay, what do you have for me to share tomorrow? And I had kind of an idea, but really I just could not piece together my thoughts.
Right.
So my dad ended up coming back because it was taking me so long. I went outside of the balcony, beautiful balcony. You could see like all Disney Springs. Like, I've never stayed in a room like this before.
Right.
And I'm soaking it in. Soaking it in. And so I was like, you know what, God? It's 12 a.m. I've got to wake up at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Like, let's get this done. I'm trying to go to sleep because I got to rest, you know? I put on a worship song to kind of prepare the atmosphere. You know, we like to do like the really holy things. Like, let me just prepare my heart.
Dude, I wish I could say that you're silly for doing that, but every morning I turn on the same
No,
playlist for worship music.
We all do it,
Yeah,
okay?
right.
So I put on this because, Lord, I need you to fit into my time schedule right now.
Here we
Okay,
go.
you're my employee right now.
Here we go, yeah.
And I put on this song, and man, when I tell you, you can't explain something like this. I put on this song, I'm sitting out there just looking at God's creation. God does something different to me in nature, and I think it's because it says all of creation worships God.
Yeah.
Right? I put on this song, man. I was so overwhelmed with the presence of God with this song that literally in my flesh, I kept thinking, like, Allie, you're going to be dead tired tomorrow, and you know how that goes when you're tired. You do not want to hear me speak when I'm tired, like, for real.
For sure.
I have nothing written out. I can't piece together my thoughts. God so clearly told me, you need to figure out what you value the most right now. Is it about people or is it about me? Do you not trust that if you sit here and just worship me, that I can fill you, and in that moment, even if I give you nothing tonight, you will have everything you need to say, because I say in my word, and I promise I'll give you the words to speak.
Yeah.
And I said, you're so right. Like, I need to stop letting my situation dictate what my time with my Savior looks like. Right. And that's not saying you don't be responsible with what God is calling you to do, because there's a time to work, right? I'm just saying in this specific moment, this is what God was sharing with me. And so literally I ended up staying out there to like 2:30 a.m. and just worshiped the entire time. Didn't prepare my message, just sat there and worshiped and looked at God's creation.
What does worship look like to you? Because like I think everybody watching is like thinking that you're like hands in the air just going like this the whole time.
So this balcony was huge.
Like what does worship look like to you?
I put on my worship playlist.
Yeah.
I have it public for you guys. Shameless plug, my secret weapon.
Yeah.
It is a ton of our old throwbacks and stuff. But I put on, there's certain songs that have been my go-to right now.
Okay.
If I could have anything, let it be your eyes on me, like that song. More like Jesus. And some other ones you'll see on there, right? But I played these songs just on repeat. Some of them I just wanted, open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Like I just listened to a stripped down version of that. And I didn't want to sing super loud, you know, because people were inside, like my dad was trying to sleep.
Sure.
Also, I'm a belter, so like that's embarrassing.
That's that theater in you, girl.
Right? So anyway, I was like just kind of like worshiping like this. You know, it sounds bad when you can't really give it your all to.
Yeah,
so God just loved my heart. But just literally singing the songs that my worship playlist was saying and walking around. Like sometimes I would just sit there on the chair on my knees and just sit there and listen to the words. Sometimes I would sing them. Sometimes I'd walk around. Sometimes I'd pray. Other times, and honestly, this was so impactful. And you guys are going to think this sounds so silly, but I literally stood there at the edge of the balcony in my PJs.
Wow.
And just looked at the sky and looked at creation and was like, who am I that the creator of the universe desires a relationship with me? And I think so often, because I have a heart for people so much, I like to talk about a lot how like God has love for all of us, but I don't really take time to really think about how crazy it is that he has a love for me and what that intimate love looks like. Because it's different if I just walk in a room, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I walk into your house, like, I love all of you guys. If I walk in, I just say, I love you guys so much. Like, oh, that's nice, right?
Yeah.
But if I sit one-on-one with you and I tell you, like, Noah, I love you for all of these reasons. Like, these are all the reasons why I love you so much. Like, my heart is for you. And I pour into you. It's different. And I think I, like, miss out on that.
Dude, that's why like a lot of times like I'll opt to not go on like group excursions, and I'll just hang out with people one-on-one, because like I would rather have one-on-one hang with each one of my sisters than to have like 20 times where we all went as a family, because it's just like so special when you get to like know somebody and like hang out with them and see their personality and like have moments with them that you can cling to. It's like me and Mom's relationship has been saved from the few times that we're just one-on-one. You know what I mean? Not to say that it wouldn't be there without it, but like it's so rich because of those moments that you pull away and you're just one-on-one. And the same is true with God.
So true.
Like when we're in community, that's so good, right? But to be alone with him and to recognize how individually he loves us, that's a special thing, Allie.
Noah,
really cool.
When I tell you, I have not been the same since. Like that night, just being out there with God by myself, and I've realized whenever God's meeting me like this, it always gets interrupted. And I usually let people interrupt me.
Yeah.
And he's been stirring in me like, Allie, you need to protect this time. Like your life depends on it. And that's what I'm learning in right now. But that night out there, he touched my heart and made me feel so special.
Yeah.
And so seen that literally I'm like not the same. Like I wake up during the day and I'm literally not the same now. Like he radically shifted my perspective on my relationship with him at those games.
Wow. That's really cool.
Isn't that nuts?
That's so cool.
And I never would have expected when I went to those games. I thought we were going to pour out, right?
Right.
But he filled me up.
Dude, somebody said that at the very end. You know how like that old adage, like anytime you go on a mission trip, you go to serve, but you end up being served so much more than you serve. Like that adage. Somebody said that at the end of the games, and I was like, wow, that's so true in this situation too. Like we went to go put on an event, but what we got was way better than I could have ever imagined. The encouragement that I got from my relationship, my walk with God, knowing that like we're walking the right direction right now, man, that just moved me. It moved me. And so it's like, I'm right there with you, man. I can't believe how good he is. When you just sell out to him and you say, I'm going to 100%, I'm sold out. I'm going to 100% chase after what you've called to me and what you've called me to in this season. And it's just like so cool, so special. Doesn't mean you got it all together. Doesn't mean that you know everything. Doesn't mean that you're perfect. Doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. It's just like really cool to see that.
That's why I love this conversation so much, is because like it's what we're learning. Like it's what God's showing us.
Yeah.
And it's so real to us.